Hey everyone, I just finished doing this reading, and honestly, I had to sit with these cards for a while because the energy coming through is so intense. Today, we are talking about someone who betrayed you and how the universe is responding to that betrayal. The cards are showing me some really profound shifts happening in their life right now. Let me start by saying that I never enjoy seeing anyone suffer. But there is something to be said about cosmic justice and how energy works in this universe. When someone deliberately hurts another person, especially through betrayal, there are always consequences. Today, the cards are showing me exactly what those consequences look like for the person who betrayed you. So I shuffled my deck with this specific question in mind, asking the universe to show me what is happening in the life of the person who betrayed you. The first card that came out immediately made me take a deep breath. The very first card I pulled is the Five of Pentacles. Now, this card traditionally represents financial loss, feeling left out in the cold and experiencing hardship. But what I am seeing here goes much deeper than just money problems. This person is experiencing a profound sense of being cut off from abundance in all forms. They are standing outside looking in at the warmth and security they used to have access to. What strikes me about this card in this reading is that the Two of Pentacles represents someone who was juggling multiple things, maybe multiple relationships, multiple lies, multiple versions of themselves. They thought they could balance it all and never get caught. But the Five of Pentacles shows that all of that juggling has crashed down around them. They are now facing the reality of what they have lost through their deceptive behavior. The energy I am getting is that this person is experiencing a very real sense of isolation. They may have lost friendships, they may have damaged their reputation, they may be dealing with financial consequences of their actions, but more than that, they are experiencing what I call spiritual poverty. They have cut themselves off from genuine connection and authentic relationships through their betrayal. I want to spend some time here because this card is showing me that their suffering is not just external. Yes, they may be dealing with practical consequences, but the deeper issue is that they have lost touch with their own integrity. They are experiencing what happens when you violate your own moral compass. There is a coldness that comes from that, a sense of being spiritually bankrupt that no amount of external success can fill. The interesting thing about the Five of Pentacles is that there is always help available. There is always a way back to warmth and connection, but it requires humility and genuine repentance. The question is whether this person is capable of that level of self-reflection and accountability. Moving forward, the next card that appeared is the Eight of Swords. This is such a powerful card for this situation because it represents feeling trapped by your own thoughts and actions. This person is experiencing a mental prison of their own making. They are surrounded by swords, which represent their own thoughts, their own guilt, their own awareness of what they have done. What I love about this card is that it shows someone who is blindfolded and bound. But if you look closely, the bonds are loose and the blindfold could be removed. This suggests that much of their suffering is self-imposed. They are trapped by their own shame, their own guilt, their own inability to face what they have done. But here is what the Eight of Swords is telling me about their current state. They are overthinking everything. They are replaying the betrayal over and over in their mind. They are probably wondering if you know what they did, if others know what they did, if there will be more consequences coming. They are living in a constant state of anxiety and fear about when the other shoe will drop. This card suggests that they are experiencing severe mental anguish. They cannot move forward because they are paralyzed by their own thoughts. They cannot go back because the betrayal has already happened. They are stuck in this middle ground of regret and fear, and it is eating them alive from the inside. The Eight of Swords also indicates that they have lost their clarity. They used to be able to see situations clearly, to make decisions with confidence, but now everything is clouded by their guilt and shame. They are second-guessing themselves constantly. They have lost trust in their own judgment because they know they made such a terrible error in judgment when they betrayed you. Let me pull another card to see what else is happening in their life. The card that comes forward is the Hermit, but in reverse. This is such a telling card for someone who has betrayed another person. The Hermit normally represents wisdom gained through introspection and soul-searching, but reversed, it shows someone who is avoiding that inner work, someone who is running from the very self-examination that could lead to healing and growth. The Hermit reversed suggests that instead of taking responsibility and doing the deep work of understanding why they betrayed you, this person is either isolating themselves in unhealthy ways or desperately seeking external validation to avoid facing their inner truth. They may be surrounding themselves with people who enable their behavior or who do not know what they have done. What I am sensing is that this person knows they need to look within and confront their actions, but they are terrified of what they will find. They are afraid that if they truly examine their behavior, they will have to admit things about themselves that they are not ready to face. So instead, they are either hiding away from the world or desperately trying to maintain a facade that everything is fine. The reversed Hermit also suggests that they have lost their connection to their inner wisdom. They used to have access to their intuition, their moral compass, their sense of right and wrong. But through the process of planning and executing the betrayal, they severed that connection. Now they are operating without their internal guidance system, which is why they feel so lost and confused. This card is showing me that their suffering includes a profound spiritual disconnection. They have lost touch with their authentic self, with their values, with their sense of purpose. They are wandering in darkness without the inner light that the Hermit traditionally carries. The next card that emerges is the Seven of Cups. This card represents illusion, confusion, and being overwhelmed by too many choices or possibilities. In the context of someone who has betrayed you, this suggests that they are now dealing with the aftermath, and they cannot figure out how to move forward. The Seven of Cups shows someone who is faced with multiple options but cannot discern which ones are real and which ones are mere fantasies. This person who betrayed you is probably considering all sorts of ways to fix the situation, to make amends, to cover their tracks, or to escape the consequences, but they are paralyzed by indecision because they cannot tell which approaches might actually work and which will only make things worse. What I find fascinating about this card appearing here is that it suggests they are still somewhat delusional about their situation. The Seven of Cups can indicate someone who is not seeing reality clearly, who is still caught up in wishful thinking or fantasy scenarios. They may be telling themselves stories about how this will all blow over, how you will forgive them, how they can somehow make this right without really taking full accountability. But the Seven of Cups also represents the confusion that comes when your foundation is shaken. They built their life on certain assumptions about themselves, about their relationships, about their character. The betrayal has forced them to question all of those assumptions, and now they do not know what is real anymore. This card suggests they are experiencing decision paralysis. They know they need to do something, but they are overwhelmed by the potential consequences of any action they might take. They are stuck in analysis paralysis, going over and over their options without being able to commit to a path forward. Now I am pulling a card that represents the deeper karmic consequences of their actions. The card that comes forward is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Pentacles normally represents holding on too tightly, being possessive, being afraid to let go. But reversed, it shows someone who is losing their grip on everything they tried so hard to control. This reversed Four of Pentacles is showing me that this person who betrayed you was operating from a place of scarcity and control. They probably betrayed you because they were afraid of losing something, because they wanted to have more than their fair share, because they were unwilling to trust in the natural flow of abundance in their life. But now, ironically, Their attempts to control and hoard have resulted in them losing everything they were trying to protect. The reversed Four of Pentacles suggests that they are experiencing financial loss, yes, but also loss of security, loss of stability, loss of the very things they betrayed you to try to keep or gain. What strikes me about this card is that it represents a complete reversal of fortune. They thought they were being smart, they thought they were getting ahead, they thought they were securing their position. But their betrayal has actually cost them everything they valued. They are now experiencing the exact opposite of what they were trying to achieve. The reversed Four of Pentacles also suggests that they are being forced to let go of their attachment to material security, to their reputation, to their image of themselves as a good person. All of the things they were clinging to are being stripped away, and they are learning the hard way that you cannot build lasting security on a foundation of betrayal and deception. Let me draw another card to see how this is affecting their relationships with others. The card that appears is the Three of Swords, but I want to be very clear about how I am interpreting this card in this context. The Three of Swords traditionally represents heartbreak and emotional pain, but here, I am seeing it as the heartbreak they are experiencing as a result of their own actions. This is not the heartbreak of being betrayed. This is the heartbreak of realizing what they have become. This is the pain of recognizing that they are not the person they thought they were. This is the anguish of understanding that their actions have not only hurt you, but have fundamentally changed how they see themselves and how others see them. The Three of Swords in this reading represents the moment of clarity when they truly understand the magnitude of what they have done. It is the piercing realization that they cannot undo their betrayal, they cannot take back the hurt they caused, they cannot return to innocence. But I also want to talk about how this card represents the way their betrayal has affected their other relationships. The Three of Swords suggests that the pain is spreading beyond just their relationship with you. Other people in their life are learning about what they did, and they are experiencing secondary betrayals as friends, family members, and colleagues reassess their relationship with this person. The energy I am getting is that this person is discovering that betrayal is not an isolated act. When you betray one person, it calls into question your trustworthiness with everyone. People are wondering what else they might have lied about, what other betrayals they might be capable of. The Three of Swords represents the spreading circle of damage that their betrayal has caused. This card is also showing me that they are grieving their old life, their old identity, their old relationships. They are mourning the person they used to be before they made the choice to betray you. There is genuine sorrow here, but it is the sorrow of someone who has brought suffering upon themselves through their own actions. The next card I draw is the Ten of Swords, and I have to say, this card appearing here does not surprise me at all. The Ten of Swords represents a complete ending, a situation that has reached its absolute worst point. It shows someone who has been completely defeated, who has reached rock bottom. In the context of someone who betrayed you, the Ten of Swords suggests that they have reached the end of their ability to maintain their facade, to justify their actions, to avoid the consequences of what they have done. This is their moment of complete defeat and surrender. But here is what I find hopeful about the Ten of Swords. It represents the darkest moment before the dawn. It is only when you have reached absolute rock bottom that you can begin to rebuild from a foundation of truth. This person cannot sink any lower, which means the only direction left is up. The Ten of Swords suggests that they are experiencing what I call a dark night of the soul. They are confronting the full reality of their actions and their consequences for the first time. They can no longer hide from what they have done. They can no longer make excuses. They can no longer blame others. They are face to face with their own shadow, and it is a devastating experience. However, this card also represents the end of one cycle and the potential beginning of another. The Ten of Swords can indicate that they are finally ready to let go of the old patterns, the old justifications, the old ways of being that led to the betrayal in the first place. What I am sensing is that this person is experiencing what some would call a spiritual crisis. Everything they thought they knew about themselves has been shattered. Every story they told themselves about their character has been proven false. They are in a place of complete ego death. And while this is incredibly painful, it is also the only way true transformation can begin. Now I want to pull a card that shows me what they are learning from this experience. The card that comes forward is the Page of Swords, but in reverse. The Page of Swords normally represents curiosity, new ideas, and learning. But reversed, it suggests someone who is struggling to learn the lessons that are being presented to them. The reverse Page of Swords indicates that this person is having difficulty processing what has happened and extracting wisdom from their experience. They may be stuck in defensiveness, still trying to justify their actions rather than truly learning from them. They may be fighting against the very lessons that could help them grow and heal. What this card is telling me is that while they are definitely suffering consequences, they may not yet be in a place where they can truly learn from those consequences. They may still be caught up in self-pity, in anger at being caught, in resentment about having to face these difficulties. They have not yet reached the level of humility required for genuine learning and growth. The reversed Page of Swords also suggests that they are having trouble communicating about what they are going through. They may be struggling to find the words to explain their actions to others, to apologize meaningfully, or to express their remorse in ways that feel authentic. Their communication is muddled by their own confusion and defensiveness. This card indicates that they are in a very immature emotional state right now. Despite whatever their chronological age might be, they are responding to this crisis like a child who has been caught doing something wrong. They are more focused on avoiding further punishment than on truly understanding why their behavior was harmful. Let me draw one more card to see what the ultimate outcome of this situation will be. The card that emerges is the Six of Pentacles, and this is actually quite interesting in this context. The Six of Pentacles represents the balance of giving and receiving, karma, and what goes around comes around. In this reading, the Six of Pentacles suggests that the universe is indeed balancing the scales. This person took something that was not theirs to take when they betrayed you. They violated the natural balance of give and take in your relationship. Now the universe is correcting that imbalance by taking things away from them. The Six of Pentacles also indicates that they will need to learn how to give genuinely and receive humbly if they ever want to rebuild their life. They will need to understand that healthy relationships are based on mutual respect and reciprocity, not on taking advantage of others' trust and generosity. What I find hopeful about this card is that it suggests the possibility of redemption, but only if they are willing to do the work. The Six of Pentacles shows that it is possible to restore balance, but it requires genuine accountability, authentic remorse, and consistent action over time. This card is telling me that their current suffering is not permanent, but their healing and recovery will depend entirely on their willingness to learn from this experience and make fundamental changes in how they approach relationships and integrity. The Six of Pentacles also suggests that they may eventually have the opportunity to make amends, not necessarily with you, but through service to others, through acts of genuine generosity, through using their painful experience to help others avoid making similar mistakes. Finally, I want to pull one last card to see what message the universe has for you about this situation. The card that appears is the Nine of Cups, which is often called the wish fulfillment card or the card of emotional satisfaction. The Nine of Cups suggests that while this person who betrayed you is going through this difficult period of consequences and learning, you are entering a phase of greater emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. The universe is not only correcting the imbalance by bringing consequences to them, but also by bringing blessings and positive energy into your life. This card indicates that their betrayal, as painful as it was, has ultimately freed you from a relationship or situation that was not serving your highest good. The Nine of Cups suggests that you are discovering new sources of joy, new reasons to be grateful, new ways to experience emotional fulfillment that do not depend on that person or that relationship. What I love about the Nine of Cups appearing here is that it shows you are not diminished by their betrayal. If anything, you are learning to find happiness and satisfaction that comes from within, that is not dependent on others living up to your expectations or treating you with the respect you deserve. The Nine of Cups also suggests that you are entering a period of your life where you will attract people and experiences that are much more aligned with your values and your authentic self. The betrayal, as painful as it was, has cleared space in your life for better things to come in. So let me summarize what the cards are telling us about the person who betrayed you. They are currently experiencing significant consequences on multiple levels. Financially and materially, they are dealing with loss and instability, as represented by the Five of Pentacles and the reversed Four of Pentacles. Mentally and emotionally, they are trapped by their own guilt and confusion, as shown by the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups. Spiritually, they are disconnected from their authentic self and their inner wisdom, as indicated by the Hermit reversed. They are experiencing heartbreak and the spreading consequences of their actions through the Three of Swords, and they have reached a point of complete defeat and surrender shown by the Ten of Swords. Currently, they are struggling to learn from this experience, as suggested by the reversed Page of Swords, but there is potential for eventual balance and redemption if they are willing to do the necessary work, as indicated by the Six of Pentacles. Meanwhile, the Nine of Cups suggests that you are moving into a period of greater emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. The universe is not only bringing consequences to them, but also bringing blessings and positive energy into your life. I want to end this reading by saying that while it may feel satisfying to know that someone who hurt you is facing consequences, the most important thing is your own healing and growth. The cards suggest that this betrayal, as painful as it was, is ultimately leading you toward a better life and better relationships. The universe has a way of correcting imbalances and ensuring that justice is served, but your job is not to focus on their suffering. Your job is to focus on your own healing, your own growth, and your own journey toward greater happiness and fulfillment. Thank you for allowing me to share this reading with you. I hope it brought some clarity and perhaps some peace to know that the universe sees what happened and is responding accordingly. Remember that your worth and your happiness do not depend on how others treat you, and that every ending makes space for a new beginning.